for our U.S. citizens, Mesa?
The word, guys, help me out, Americans.
The Declaration of
I can't remember the word.
This is a picture that I took in Paris. It says, well, let's go to the next slide. It'll just take a minute, but it makes a very important point, okay? République Française, Liberté, Égalité, and Fraternité. Let's go back up to the U.S. Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson wrote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness."
Except if you were African American.
Yes, if you were a slave, you didn't count.
You
and
didn't.
If you were a woman, you didn't count very much. There are all sorts of exceptions. What does life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness mean?
Can be interpreted in so many different ways.
Yes.
The way that I was taught it was that you are entitled to pursue your own interests up to the point that it infringes on someone else's liberty.
That's correct. This is a definition of capitalism. I have the freedom to make as much money and be as successful as I want to be. Pursuit of happiness, what makes people happy? Well, we looked at the happiness scale last time. It's money. It's wealth, okay? Leave me alone, give me liberty, let me live my life, and let me pursue happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You have this slide too, electronic, okay? In France, what does liberté, égalité, and fraternité mean?
Freedom, liberty, equality, and fraternity.
Right, liberty against who? Liberty from who?
From the
Monarchy. So, I don't want a king, I want to be my own person. Égalité is,
Across classes.
I'm sorry,
Across classes.
across classes. So, we have to be equal. Equality. And fraternité,
Fraternity.
brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
What does that mean? That means we are responsible for
Solidarity.
each other. Okay? We're responsible for each other, we're all equal, and we're all free. Now the points that I'm making with this are, this is France, that's the United States. They're different, and their healthcare systems reflect those differences. Okay? And the real point that I'm making with this is that the culture of a society determines the world that that society lives in, and that world, the subset of that world is its healthcare system. So whatever healthcare system you see is a product of the society and its culture, influenced by wealth, of course. So you see poor countries, low-income countries that wish they could have more, and if you gave them more wealth, they would do other things with their healthcare. Okay? But when there's money, it's allocated based on the culture of that. Okay? All right, now we're going to go on because we got to get done here. Next is kingdom. You ready? Sir? To do this for a second. Where are you? Final. No, it's the folder. Oh, it's in the folder, right? It's this one? Yes. That's fine. Do this. Okay.
minutes.
Yeah, no, actually.
About 20.
Yeah, well, she was 10.
I mean, whatever, yeah.
We'll know what a Toyota car is, so it can be 5 minutes. Hi guys, you know, win the health course, and I'm presenting Toyota, eh? We'll find out why. so I'm going to talk about Toyota, but my presentation is not about Toyota, and it's not about cars, and Toyota is not perfect, and the point is not Toyota. And just a disclaimer, I didn't change careers and started working at Toyota. So I'm still interested in global health. So we're going to talk about Toyota, you know, as this icon. I mean, everybody knows Toyota. Whether, you know, you just say cars, you know, somebody will say Toyota. You know, you cannot mistake it for any other thing. Whether you're in the US, Africa, or whatever else. Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, in full, it's called the Toyota Motor Corporation, which is a multinational car manufacturer. Well, the technical term is really vehicle, but I will just substitute for a car, just for simplicity. Which is headquartered in Tokyo, Japan. It was founded in 1937 and currently has about 340,000 employees worldwide. And since the 50s, its core principles in the manufacturing space was centered around lean processing lean process improvement. And it's the 9th largest company in the world by revenue, and the 2nd largest manufacturer beyond the Volkswagen group. And it's the first manufacturer to produce more than 10 million vehicles per year. And it's listed as the largest listed company in Japan by market cap and revenue. Market capitalization just means the value of the individual share multiplied by the number of shares in the stock exchange, and also on the balance sheet by revenue. So it's strong on paper and also, you know, in the financial books. So and also it's a market leader in sales of hybrid electric cars. We all know the Prius. So the Prius is the world's top-selling hybrid brand name, with over 6 million units sold, you know, just counting this year. So this icon, that is Toyota, has evolved over the years. Way back in the days, because of the name of the founder, you know, it was really the Toyota company. And you'll see later in the slides when there was these lawsuits and when Mr. Toyota was called to the US, and this happened when I lived in the US, and I connected the two because this gentleman was called Mr. Toyota. I'm like, oh, so he's got to be the founder of Toyota, which obviously he's not the founder because this is a very old company. So anyway, it evolved over the years, and so did the logos, just to modernize, you know, with the times. And you said Toyota, the word that comes to mind is reliability. You say Volvo, you say safety. You know, so Toyota is synonymous, the brand is synonymous with reliability. And over the years, they've produced, you know, these Corollas that is really like, you know, their flagship vehicle, and is known for reliability. And also, Toyota is quite known for being diverse, which was really its disadvantage at some point, especially when it was trying to brand itself as an innovator. Remember, like a few years ago, when I was studying brand communications, we analyzed the Toyota brand. And the Toyota brand, during my time when I was studying, their slogan was leading the way. And my argument was, Toyota cannot lead the way because they're not innovators. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a Tesla car. You know, they're not in the Tesla space. They're in the you know, working man's car, you know, just, you know, 4 wheels, A to B. You don't need a super airbag. You don't need bells and whistles. So they changed their, not at my advice, but they did change their slogan afterwards to moving forward. And also, I mean, you from the US, you remember these paint lines, right? You know, these taglines over the years. Whether it's you've asked for it, you got it, oh, what a feeling. Sounds like Coca-Cola, but hey, as something as generic as everyday from 97. Okay. So, back to the company strategy. Toyota's company strategy is centered on two principles. The first one is lean manufacturing, which can be also interpreted as lean production or just simply lean. This focuses on issues of waste elimination, waste minimization without sacrificing productivity. And also, throughout the presentation, I will use the terms lean and another system that I'll talk about, the Toyota production system, interchangeably. So, and also they use a concept called, just in time, which is, the TPS I was talking about. Right? But you'll see that there are some nuances. Just like I think some of us have been exposed to Six Sigma, for example. It's related, but it's not really that, and you'll see why. And finally, at the end of this presentation, you'll understand why I'm attending Toyota during health systems. So they came up with this thing internally called the Toyota Way. So the Toyota Way broadly is broken up into two arms. The arms that deals with the human aspect, the respect for people, also linking, synchronizing with the current culture of Japan, right? The respect, the humility. I mean, how it takes hours to go through a ceremony of tea drinking to show appreciation to the person that's serving you, and you also learning about their culture, they're learning about you also. So teamwork is important, and it's also emphasized in the other arm, which is continuous improvement, Kaizen, which I'll get into later, Genbutsu, I'll also get into, which, this is just a Japanese word that means go and see for yourself, right? But, I'll explain further later. So, I'll talk about the internal aspect of the Toyota system. Now, this is the internal aspect, how the market or how the world sees Toyota. They feel that Toyota's principles, business principles, are based on concepts of long-term thinking. They're involved in problem solving, they add value, and this Toyota Way that I just described incorporates the Toyota production system, which I will call TPS moving forward. So, based on the Toyota production system, this is the kind of output you would get from Toyota. From SUVs, heavy, light vehicles, heavy vehicles. So they literally could supply from a Land Cruiser to like the smallest of cars, right? Even the aspirational cars that looks like a supercar, but it's very slow. So, has TPS, did Toyota invent TPS? Has this always existed? And history tells us that as early as the pre-20th century, right? In the words of Benjamin Franklin, for example, he said, "A penny saved is twice pence clear. A pin a day is a gross a year. Save and have." So it's principles of not wasting, saving, right? Conserving what you're working with, and you will see as you move into the 20th century, the same is also said. But what's important to point out is what Henry Ford said. Also along the TPS philosophy, saving of wastage, elimination or minimization of wastage. Henry Ford said an average farmer puts 5% energy. So an average farmer uses up 5% of energy doing his chores, and he'll walk up and down the rickety ladder, and that's a lot of waste in his motion and waste in the effort, and that will make the farm prices go high and the profits go low. So in other words, this farmer is spending so much time and effort, and it's costing money, so much time on the ladder. He could be working, spending that time on what actually brings in the money. So Henry Ford saw that too. And then come the TPS by Kishiro Toyoda, He says scheduling of work should not be driven by sales or production targets, but by actual sales, which is this concept of just-in-time, JIT. So, I'll get into the Toyota Production System, the TPS. I'm going to use the analogy of a house. A house has a roof on it which protects from the sun, from the rain, and all the other harmful and environmental factors. So the Toyota Production System is supposed to prevent the organization from the external, when you do pest analysis, for example, like the external threats. And then just like any other house, it's got, like the supporting structure, which are the two pillars. The first pillar is just in time, which talks about, doing what is needed, not keeping excess stock, not needing, huge plants to keep all these stock in one place, but producing items as per order of the customer. So hence it's called just in time. And I mean, this didn't, the term didn't actually come from Toyota. It came from a gentleman who went to the UK, and he was thinking of, how he saw the trains come. He said, wow, I was so impressed with the trains because they came just in time. They were not 5 minutes late, they were not 5 minutes early, but they came just in time. So one pillar of the Toyota Production System is the just-in-time concept, and the other one is the Jidoka. The Jidoka is what they would call intelligent automation, or automation with a human touch. So in other words, the systems are automated, but there's a aspect of the process where there's human intervention. For example, you are in an assembly line and you're producing all these items, and item number 404 is defective. You as a human can intervene and stop the process, preventing further items to be defective. So it's automated, but it does have a human element to actually take care of that. This is the concept of Jidoka. And then in the middle of the house, you'll find humans, which make it a home, right? Based on their personality, right? A house is just a house, but if you put a human being inside a house, it becomes a home. Isn't that so? So it comes a personality. And at the center of the personality are the concepts of Muda, Muri, and Mura. The Muda is the waste. In this lingo, waste is any non-value adding activities. And Muri is the overburden. And this can be avoided by the even distribution of production. And the Mura is the unevenness. And this can be eliminated by training staff to operate multiple machines. So they become competent not just in the one corner on the floor, but they're versatile, basically, versatility. And then what's a house without a foundation? Right? And the cornerstone, this is all metaphorical, right? The cornerstone of this system is what they call the Kaizen. The Kaizen, the simplest explanation, the simplest interpretation of it could be good change. Kaizen, right? And when you say good Zen, whatever, yeah. And incidentally, most of us use Japanese words daily, from karaoke to tycoon to futon, so without actually realizing that we're using these Japanese terms. So there's a lot of them here, and I do apologize for that. So anyway, so Kaizen in academic spaces is called continuous improvement, where they use what they call the PDSA cycle. Okay, so you plan, you do, you study, then you act. Right? You don't just do things willy-nilly. There's a system of how you do things. And then I've already talked about the Genbutsu, where the manager. So if there's a problem on the floor, right? Through a Jidoka mechanism, so there's an error on the floor. It doesn't just pick up the phone or send a quick email and say, you sort it out, or this is what I think you can do it. He literally goes on the floor through this principle called Genjitsu Genbutsu. which is the manager goes to the floor and see for yourself, right? And I'm also going to talk about, especially in the hospital setting, there are these Kanban charts, which is a system used to convey processes, to convey information between processes. And this system is actually used also to beef up just in time, to replenish stock. So it automatically orders stock as stocks run out, right? And then standardized work. This is just the foundation of it. And in the standardized work, there are these 5 S's. The sorting of work. This fortunately is kind of self-explanatory. That in your work, the first thing that you're going to do, you're going to sort. Okay, pens this side, markers this side. And then you're going to set in order. Okay, the closest one, okay. You align, make them nice. And then shine. Keep the place clean. And it's not just clean for hygienic reasons, but for harmony. A place that is clean is easier to see faults, because it's easier to see an error if the environment is clean. So they have demarcations on the floor, like in a typical setting. And you'll see this is totally applicable to the hospital setting. And not just for nosocomial infections, but just you will see for productivity and other issues too. And then, I think I should just move on. Okay, so I'm going to take you through an example that shows the benefits of the lean system. So, in a total manufacturing effort, say producing a car, right? 100% is producing a car. This is the final product. A very tiny fraction of it is actually the value-added activity. These are the activities that directly contribute to the actual car. And a huge majority, these are the non-value-added activity, like calling suppliers, get them on a flight to go to meetings, or even downtime, slacking, all sorts of things that are non-value-adding. And you can see there are a huge majority of what goes into the manufacturing effort. This is without lean, right? And so say I'm a manager, and everybody would like to increase value. So this is my first scenario. This is a traditional approach. I would like to increase value, and what are my options? I hire more people, I buy more machines, I increase my factory floor, I get people to work long hours, and all I'm doing is, yes, I will increase my value added, but I'm also inadvertently increasing my non-value added activity as well. So now I'm going to end up with the same scenario. It's just now we're even a bigger problem. This is the traditional approach. Now, when you look at the lean manufacturing approach, things get a little bit interesting and different, thankfully. So you're already familiar with the scenario of the value versus non-value added. Now, in the lean approach, the target is not to increase capacity, it's not to increase staff, it's not to hire more people, it's not to buy more machines, it's not to get people to work longer hours, but instead is to target the waste. So you target the waste and reduce the waste. So by reducing the waste, you are directly increasing the value added. The difference between this and that scenario is, in this scenario, you haven't changed the size of your staff. You haven't increased your office space. You haven't even increased your budget. If anything, you will reduce, and you will definitely achieve more with less. Hence lean, right? So your staff numbers hasn't changed. You didn't buy new equipment. You didn't increase your office space. And at the same scale, just like before, now you've got way more value. And it's literally up to you how much value you can get, depending on what you can change and what you can't change. Now, here's another scenario that illustrates lean. In a production timeline, say for example, a product has to go through 5 days. From the time of order, the customer orders to payment. So the order was placed on the 21st and payment is on the 26th, right? In the scenario. Now, let's look at what typically happens. So during the customer order and the day of payment, between those days, there are some days where, for example, the orange, this is the value-added activities in that particular day. On Monday, there was, about 30%, 20%, 25% of the work that actually contributed to the value added. And on Tuesday, there was much less, and on Thursday, Wednesday, the third, there was slacking or maybe a holiday. On Thursday, there was nothing going on. So clearly you can see that on some days, there's a lot of value added work, and some other days, there's nothing altogether. So, and then when you take all the oranges, all the orange bars, and put them together, a total of the value added, focus on the left, right? So a total of the value added, you'll see that it's around like a third or 25% of the actual time that is taken. And the rest, a huge majority, is accounted to waste. And this affects the bottom line, right? Because you're gonna get paid on Friday, but when you come to think of it, actually your work was just over Monday. It was just Monday on its own, and just a tiny bit of Tuesday. And all this time is wasted waiting for payment. So now with the lean methodology, you still look at the same scenario, because remember, lean is not revolutionary. It does not come and almost like that whole concept of the empty vessel fallacy and saying, here's the system, we know it all, break everything, we're going to change this. Instead, what it does, it says, what do you have? I'll work with what you have. So it still takes what you have and works with what you have by reducing the waste. And you'll see that when you reduce waste, you will definitely also reduce your time of payment. Right? So, that will make your bosses very happy. If you're way higher up, it will make your shareholders very happy. If you're the shareholder, it will definitely make you happy, that's for sure. So, while we're here, lean in healthcare. So, I'm just going to read. I'm going to go Wikipedia on you for a few seconds. So, lean in healthcare, the definition could be the organization's cultural commitment to apply the scientific method to designing, performing, and continuously improving the work delivered by teams of people, leading to measurable, better value for patients and other stakeholders. So this is just to contextualize lean in a healthcare setting. But why do we need lean in a healthcare setting? Firstly, because healthcare organizations are under pressure to reduce costs, to increase reliability and quality, and to enhance organizational effectiveness. And in 2001, the Institute of Medicine report, which is called Crossing the Quality Chasm, it was what we call like a seminal, like a very important paper. It called for change to healthcare system processes and to improve the level of quality. But that call can be lost in translation because people think they can just take a system, cut and paste it, and just drop it in a hospital without acknowledging the nuances that exist within a healthcare system. And also, we talk about producing a marker. It has no personality. It has no demographic profile. It has no psychographic profile. It does not have a way to think. It's just a thing, inanimate, you produce it, done. But with the healthcare sector, it's different because you're dealing with humans, with personalities, with sex, gender, so it's very, very challenging. It's not like producing as easy as producing a marker. So, what are the expected benefits of introducing lean? For example, you could be interested, you could impact on the discharge cycle time and the cost reduction, right? And you can improve your medication